everyone, this is Fantabuloso, and welcome to the first part of Progress Update 5. Why just the first part, you might ask? Well, I encountered some issues with Capboy's model recently, and as a result I've had to both recreate his model and tweak or replace many of his animations. Though the end result of this is substantially better than how he used to look, the process ended up delaying the combat portion of this Progress Update by a lot. Though I'll have the rest ready in just a couple of days, it's not quite complete and polished enough to show off yet. But, of course, I also promised to have a PU out for today. As a result, I've just decided to split it into two smaller ones. One progress update today, which covers Shamrock AI and attacks, and a second one in a couple of days, which will cover how Capboy can fight back against them. So, let's start off with general Shamrock behavior. As you can see here, I've just turned on this Shamrock Swordsman who is chilling in his idle state. The three dots on the left are the path that he's going to patrol, starting in the top left and going clockwise. At each patrol point, he waits a couple of seconds, determined randomly between two given values, in this case 2 seconds and 3 seconds, then moves onwards to the next one. However, a full loop is not the only option he has. As you can see here, or as you will see here rather, the Shamrocks can also ping-pong along their paths, which, for those who don't know what that means, it essentially means that once he reaches the end of this path, he's going to turn around, go back to the second point, and then back to the first point. This is exceptionally useful for when the beginning and the end of a given patrol path don't connect well, such as going up and down a staircase. They also, again, we'll have to let him finish up this loop, but they also have the option to simply stop once they reach the end of their patrol path. Though this does not provide any major benefits in action, it still provides an extra bit of flavor for, say I wanted him to just stay at this patrol point for the rest of his life. Instead of just making one there who doesn't have a patrol path, I can add some flavor by having him move from, say, a campfire or a barracks or something like that. Just gives a nice bit of extra liveliness to the world. Next, let's talk about how Shamrocks behave when something interrupts their patrol path. If something makes a sound near a Shamrock, they will react in one of two ways. If the sound is classified as a quiet sound, such as this yellow ball I just dropped, the Shamrock will turn and look towards the direction of the sound. If they don't see anything suspicious, namely Capboy, they will then return to their patrol path as usual, without any real changes. The other type of sound, however, is classified as a loud sound, such as this cannonball I'm just about to drop right over here. If a sound is loud, a Shamrock will immediately go and investigate it at the source. Unlike Weak Alert, Shamrocks will never exit Strong Alert once they've entered it. This is important because when they're in Strong Alert, Shamrocks will both move faster and wait for a smaller amount of time at each patrol point, just because they know there's a threat of some sort, whether it's Capboy or some other thing that might attack the Shamrocks. Now let's get into the fun part, their actual combat AI. Because Capboy's model is broken, I'll be using this placeholder to simulate him. Let's start off with the Swordsman. The Swordsman has 3 main attacks he likes to do, with varying amounts of damage. His AI is random, so let's just hope he does all 3 in the time it takes me to describe them. The first is a stab that comes out quickly, but deals little damage. Right there. The next is a large overhead smash that deals heavy damage at the cost of being slower. Right there, he's being very cooperative. And the last one is a 3-hit combo right here. 2 quick horizontal slashes, followed up by a slam for heavy damage. The Shamrock is also able to cancel this combo if Capboy moves away from him in the middle of it. Let's just wait for him to do it again so we can show that off. Come on, bud, any day now. Well, so much for him being cooperative, right? Come on. There we go. So as you can see, he transitions back to his normal walking state instead of doing the 3rd hit, which would be guaranteed to miss. The next Shamrock I'd like to talk about is the Shamrock Cannoneer. Though his moveset is simpler than the Shamrock Swordsman's, his AI has more nuances to it that I'd like to describe right now. The Cannoneer begins every engagement by lighting his match, and then taking aim at Capboy. The cannonballs travel fast and deal heavy damage, but do have a low fire rate. After a small period of time, the Cannoneer's match will run out. When this happens, he's left defenseless until it stops smoldering and he's able to relight it. Furthermore, when Capboy tries to approach the Cannoneer, it will turn and attempt to run away. It does this until it's eventually cornered, whereupon it turns back to face him and starts fighting again. The Cannoneer will also attempt to knock Capboy away with his match when Capboy gets far too close, but again, knockback and all that stuff is going to be coming in the next progress update, or rather the next part of this progress update. Finally, let's take a look at the classic, the Shamrock Rammer. Anybody who played Lay Fantabuloso game will definitely recognize the Rammer's fighting style, as it's the same as it was back then. The Rammer quickly rolls towards Capboy upon seeing him, then begins charging up a massive slam. This slam deals very high damage, a full heart, just like the original, but unlike the old version, there are a couple of factors that make it much easier to deal with. The Rammers will always have the same speed when launching now, no matter how far away Capboy is, meaning that they're much easier to predict. And they'll also have a much more obvious tell when they're about to launch. As you can see, they start kicking up smoke, and the launch itself just takes longer to charge up. Despite this, however, Rammers are still going to be quite a threat, especially when found in groups with the other two Shamrock types. Alright, that's just about it for the Shamrock AI. Kind of a lightweight progress update, but remember that this is only part 1. When part 2 is uploaded, you can click that link over in the top right to check it out. And, as always, if you want to stay up to date with the development of the game, you can check out the dev blog by clicking the link on screen, or you can subscribe to me here on YouTube by clicking the other one. I also have a Twitter where you can stay up to date with all the minor going-ons, whatever, I don't know, of the game, as well as check out when I'm going live with a dev stream. You can find a link to it down in the description. See you guys in part 2.